We come from a long legacy of Black organizing, Black liberation, Black freedom work.
There is no other municipality in North America that has done this at a government level.
The only way that we can truly conquer anti-Black racism is when we realize that there is power in one. Together we stand, divided we fall.
I have to take you back to early spring 2016, where Black Lives Matter movement really gained focus and presence in Toronto. They were in the media, it was everywhere. It just could not be quieted. Shut it down! Shut it down! Black people overall was just tired. We were tired of it because of the killing of our Black people by police in Toronto. And we know that it was years and years of saying no more, no more, no more. So what it is that the city needed to do was to hear from Black people in the city and all Black people and to do something about it, to address anti-Black racism and to name it. And so that's how this started.
As much as we pride ourselves on being one of the best places in the world in terms of respect for each other and lack of discrimination and racism, there are still serious issues to be addressed, and those are some of the issues that Black Lives Matter raises, and I respect the fact that they do that.
December 5th, 2017 was historic. Historic not just for Black people in Toronto, but historic for all people in Toronto. It's a long time coming, but it came.
Too often, what we have done, who we are, what we are, how we've contributed, has been erased, silenced, marginalized, overlooked. This moment, it moves against this trend of invisibilizing Blackness and highlights Blackness in a way that's authentic to Black people.
So we looked at the 41 years of reports, recommendation, research, all of it saying exactly almost the same things. And we took that to the Black communities. We talked to Black youth, Black seniors, Black people in the LGBTQ community, Black fathers, Black women, Caribbean Black people, African people from the continent. We talked to everybody, as many as we could get, right? To see, when we looked at those recommendations, what was relevant today. And so those 80 actions came from that.
What was important in the development of the Confronting Anti-Black Racism plan was this notion that we must work closely as partners with the City of Toronto from Black communities, and the mechanism that made sense was creating this partnership and accountability circle.
The role involves providing feedback and assessments and reports to City Council around how the action plan has been developed and implemented and measured and tracked. So in reality, it is not just to work with the other members of PAC, but to work with the community, work with the unit, and ensuring that the plan implementation is successful and effective in meeting its goals.
So when we first started to implement the action plan, the response from a lot of our partners was really a lot of great interest. We had our first sit-down meeting with different city departments to talk about where they were mentioned in the action plan, to remind them where they were mentioned, to talk about what those actions actually mean, and then to work with them on developing activities, like what will they do to make those actions come to life.
I first came into contact with the Cabaret unit earlier this year in February. My director, Nicole Welch, requested that we roll out the Confronting Anti-Black Racism training to our staff and management.
Toronto Employment and Social Services engaged 60% of their leadership in the conversations through the development of the strategy itself.
This was rolled out to help make our services more accessible and responsive to Black communities and Black families in particular. And so I think staff were really excited to be able to start exploring that and looking at ways in which we can critically look at what we're doing, but then also with an eye towards what can we do better.
One of the issues what we've identified in our division doing work around diversity and inclusion is that we do have a strain of anti-Black racism that exists in our division. And we wanted to be addressing it proactively. And so we have worked closely with the CABR unit on a regular basis to consult with them, to help understand the issues, to understand our role in implementing the action plan, and to ensure that we are doing the work in a good way.
The difference with the Confronting Anti-Black Racism strategy is that it confronts anti-Black racism specifically, and we're calling it out. And I think that that's a very, very cool and needed and bold shift that the city needed.
When I have divisions calling us and asking us to look at their policies and to comb through their policies to make sure that it has that an anti-Black racism lens have been applied, that's amazing, because it's the policies and programs that we need to shift.
Diversity. Does the initiative engage with the diversity of Toronto's Black communities?
Collaboration. Does the initiative prioritize collaboration between Toronto's communities of African descent?
Relationship building. Are the relationships we're building intentional and reciprocal?
Accountability. Does this initiative demonstrate accountability to communities of African descent?
Transparency. Is the initiative transparent for Black Torontonians?
Accessibility. Does the initiative use accessible language to communicate with Black Torontonians?
Creativity and openness. Is the initiative creative and open enough to serve the needs of people of African descent?
Sustainability. Is the initiative sustainable and responsive to Toronto's Black communities?
Responsiveness. Does the initiative conduct ongoing checks to ensure flexibility from the feedback from Black communities?
This past year we did 61 engagements internally focused with about 2,500 staff engaged at these events. And then we did 53 external community engagements with about 3,500 people engaged, all that in just 1 year.
My most memorable moment is when we had the symposium for Black queer youth and service providers, and the turnout was impressive. The event was beautiful, and just bringing this youth to a place where they can sit down and talk about their issues, to a place where they feel safe, lifting up voices of trans, queer, Black women, and making that voice the voice of the work that we do was really impressive for me.
But I found the gathering for the recognition of the International Decade to be very powerful and important because of the way in which we were embarking on something that was very different. And it wasn't just forcing Blackness into a white space, but actually starting to transform this space in small but important ways where we could be our fullest self, even if just for that evening.
For me, the proudest thing is that we have been able to come through 1 year, the first year of being in the city, having Black people taking up space. We are in the very fiber of the city now. We're not just an add-on, we're in the fiber of the city. From the councillors, to the political arm, to the bureaucracy, knows us, knows our work, knows our intention, knows what we're doing, and is using us to advance Black people in the city. This is amazing.
I'm proud of our team. We have a super dynamic team. Anini always says that we're not supposed to say that we have the best team in the world, but I think we do. We have folks that have been dedicated to this work and will be dedicated to this work long after they're here. So I'm proud of the team, proud of the work we've done, and proud of the foundation we've set.
I describe it as a small but mighty unit because it doesn't consist of 658 people. It consists of 5 people. I am delighted at the fact that in recruiting the unit, they got people who were outspoken, people I'd often seen in the past as outspoken advocates in our Black communities in Toronto.
We have this 5-year action plan. It's now 2019, so we are officially in year 2, but we have these years ahead of us to effectively try to change the conditions of Black life.
This is a life work for us. This is work of the ancestor for us. We have put a framework, we live this work from an Ubuntu perspective. We understanding that I am because you are because I am, is not just a statement, we actually live it in CABR.
I feel like we're planting seeds that are slowly starting to germinate with the youth and the civic engagement capabilities, the self-esteem that was built. It really just kind of solidified my confidence in government.
I hope that the population of Black Torontonians out there realize that this work belongs to them as well. So where we go, we hope that people take up whatever it is that we start and they continue with it. We're here to create partnerships. We're here to create lasting relationships with Black Torontonians.
This is like a life-changing moment and something I'll take with me forever.